This podcast represents the opinions of the hosts of the Laugh Cry Club and guests on the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice and is for informational purposes only. And because each person is so unique, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we share is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Laugh Cry Club. We are so glad you're here. I am Joy.
I am Rebecca.
I am Chelsea. And if you ever felt like laughing and crying, especially at the same time, and you are an imperfect human, then this podcast is for you.
And we are so glad you're here. Thank you for supporting the show. We see those numbers climbing. We really do, which means more of you are joining the club. As a reminder, we are 3 licensed therapists sprinkled all across the United States here to help you with your mental health journey. But as you will hear, we also share our imperfections and laugh at ourselves and cry at ourselves. So we start every episode with laughs and cries of the week. And then we dive into a mental health topic. So if you have a suggestion for the show, you can always email us laughcryclub@gmail.com. We love to hear from you. On that fun, exciting note, Chelsea, who's going with the laughs and the cries this week?
I can't help.
It's the last episode of 2024.
Yeah, and I can't help but have some big feelings right now.
Really?
Yeah, okay.
Should we all go at once?
Yeah, I guess my big feelings are we're wrapping up the year. I am so proud of us. We made this podcast happen. Listeners, we made this happen in 5 days. This was
We really did.
This was an aha, we should be doing this, and then a 3-way call with Rebecca where I nominated her to be our third and was like, oh, Rebecca's in. We have 3 people to do this podcast.
Guess what, Rebecca? You're doing a podcast now.
Which,
Yes,
of course, she was totally, she was voluntold.
I was grateful.
And totally in. And I guess yesterday I spent some time really reflecting on this year and just thinking about what this podcast has done for me personally, how Monday mornings are like, ugh, for me. And I look forward to listening to our episode and going to the gym, which I had not been to the gym in 8 months. And now I'm going inspired every Monday by I cannot listen to the Laugh Cry Club episode until I get to the gym.
You are the third athlete now. Look at
Okay. I'm a jacuzzi club member.
Jacuzzi. You are the jacuzzi
I'm a
club
hype
member.
girl. I am a lot of fun. Athletic capabilities would not be where I would put myself on the couch. So, okay, tightening
Proud
back
of you.
up, wrapping it back in with my big feelings that I'm having today. So I can't help but look over at my friend Rebecca slamming Red Bull in her
I was
mouth.
just going to call that out.
And then
the Red Bull slammer.
The Red Bull
Yep.
slam. And then I'm trying to decide, should we wait and let Joy go first? Because then Rebecca's Red Bull's going to kick in. But the enthusiasm of the hand to the mouth is really making me what's going on? So Rebecca.
There's enthusiasm?
There's so much enthusiasm when you just kick it back.
Audience,
Yeah.
if you saw it, it reminds me of when my kids weren't allowed to have soda and I would get them on an airplane and we'd be flying to New York and I'm like, okay, I need them to be awake when they meet their New York cousins, and I would give them soda and they are slamming it. That is what Rebecca looks like. Her face looks like a little kid. So cute, so happy, so fun. And then the hand is rapid fire throwing Red Bull. The head swings back. I wish you could see it. So
It's great.
It's so funny.
Rebecca,
Oh my gosh.
tell us
Thank
everything,
you.
Rebecca.
Thank you. Oh, wow. What a week. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you both, too. I'll start off with a cry. You ever scroll on Instagram and these things pop up for you and then you're bawling about it or you're laughing hysterically? Typically,
Yes.
it's one or the other for me, right? This one got me big time. So it was an Instagram account made by this woman, and it was about her dog that she adopted. And it started out, I wrote it down so I could remember, but it started out with, when you go to adopt a dog, you don't account for all of the numbers that get added into the math equation. And while she's telling the story, it's got pictures of her and her dog doing these things. And then she goes into all the meals that we've shared together, the 7,500 walks we've had together. And then she always puts a number with it. The 8,000 nights we've slept together, or the 14 birthday celebrations that we've shared where I had a piece of cake and you had a cheeseburger, and all of the moves that we've experienced together, and the 2 breakups where you healed a heart that you were not responsible for breaking. And it just goes on. And I am full on sobbing. And I'm like, whoa, that really got me. And I think, Chelsea, are you crying or laughing?
No, I'm tearing up. I'm tearing up because I was writing the other day, and I was writing the hours that we've waited to get the MRI scan for Steve. And I was thinking about how powerful it is when we are mindful enough to think of minutes, hours, time. And then it just made me think, as you were talking, just about my own animals, or even my kid, all the witnessing of life that just takes place organically. And when we give it a number, no, it does make me tear up. It very much moves me. And I love the way that person, So there's a few layers happening for me as you're speaking, but wow.
It's the time that you spend, it makes you reflect on the time that has contributed to your life and all the bonds that you create. It's we think about our lives with the humans that we love the most and how much time, and it's also the things that person saying the heartbreak that they've gone through. You think about all the ups and downs that you go through, these intimate moments you go through with humans, and to kind of reflect on that is a lot. It's a lot of emotion.
The animal part, I look at our animals, and our animals have saved our life. I mean, Kipsy was with Steve day in and day out when Steve lived in New York for cancer treatment. Kipsy never left his side.
Little Kipsy.
Little Kippers. And when Steve had a really massive surgery and he couldn't do much, he was just bedridden for months, I adopted Priya. And Priya brought us so much joy. We would lay in bed and just watch her play and play with her, so much. And Cade, now we have our new cat, and she gets on top of Steve and she purrs, and Priya does it too. And I imagine that their purring vibration is healing him. And they have no idea how magical they are. They don't know. They're spiritual blessings. I don't know how
angels,
to describe it.
They don't even know how cute they are.
No.
I just want to squeeze their face off. Yeah.
Oh, I
Thank
love
you for
that,
sharing that, Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's such a good topic starter, because now
it was a big cry. I mean,
and now we're all crying.
Yeah. It was. It just really got me. And I think it kind of goes into our topic today, too, about change and how nothing stays the same. And so there's pleasure in that time. And then there is some real pain, too. And wow. I'm so thankful for my pets. So, yeah, and I'll post this too. I can repost, and that way you all can see it too and cry or not, whichever you want to do.
Contagious crying.
Let's all cry together.
Let it out.
Crying
Let
at 12:30.
Okay.
Okay, we're all meeting. My laugh has to do with, I was at the gym the other day, and so there, gyms mostly play music, but then a lot of people have their headphones in. So somebody picked the music, and it was kind of like a 80s kind of theme. Some Phil Collins was going at one point, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. And so there's this woman that she only is there during the winter months, because she goes back north for the summer months to Michigan or something, and so she's here for 6 months right now, and she is this rock solid fit queen woman that is, I think, in her upper 60s, but she is so fit. She's just it's amazing to watch her. But she's always singing. She has headphones in, but then she's also singing the music out loud. And I just love it because it's so contagious. There's some other people that do this too. So I was kind of singing along too. And, we're all kind of working out in this gym. And then all of a sudden, the song Come On and Get Happy by the Partridge Family comes on, which is really interesting at the gym, right? You don't think of Come On, Get Happy, working out at the gym.
Yeah, you definitely don't think of the Partridge Family at the gym. I don't.
No. And so she was singing, she came back into the fitness green room that we have, and I was singing it too, and I'm I needed this today. Next thing you know, it's a record screech. It goes, I mean, it didn't. The music stops. And we're like, what?
And then 50 Cent came on.
No. And then we look across the way, and Brian, the owner, who is also a trainer, is standing at the doorway. And she's like, Brian, what did you do to the music? And he's like, I hate that song. I can't handle it. And we were just giving him a hard time. Like, he totally destroyed our whole day because we were really enjoying it. And he was just standing there, his big muscles. And you know, when you're really muscular, your arms like go wide, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like laughing hysterically.
Yeah, they can't like hang down on your body because you're so muscly.
His pecs are so big. Yeah. And he's like laughing hysterically, like, ha ha. Like, and we were like all crying and upset about him stopping.
What a great example, again, of being involved with like a random person and having it totally change your day.
I love the randos at the gym.
I love the random moments.
Yeah, I know them kind of, but
we're promoting rando connection.
The rando
I'm telling you,
connection.
I'm telling you, when you're out in public and you interact with someone that's a stranger in a lovely, funny way, 9 times out of 10, I think your return is going to be good.
And if it's not, you know how to pivot. We've taught you that at the last Try Club.
Experiment.
Yes.
We know these tools. Have we taught you nothing at this point?
Okay, Rebecca, you get to nominate the next.
Oh, goodness. Let's see. It's so hard.
I love how it's like only 3 of us and we're like just trying so hard for you to go next.
Goodness. I am going to send it over to someone that recently posted. I saw this last night. This really amazing gift they received. And it looks like a fluffy cloud of dogginess, and I want to come over and lay in this too. Maybe we could snuggle together and bring all the pets. I'm going to pass it over to Joy.
Well, you are in luck, my friend, because everyone's invited to my house. And actually, this is my laugh of the week because it is a human-sized dog bed. My husband is so funny. That man cannot do a surprise to save his life. Like, if he gets you a gift, he's got to give it to you right away, which always just makes Christmas, birthdays, whatever, really funny because he'll get me a gift like 3 months before my birthday and he'll be like, let's just open it now. And I'm like, stop. So a few days ago, he was like, oh my gosh, my mom and I got you this great Christmas gift. We're so excited. And my parents are coming this weekend for Christmas to kind of like, we're recording this early, by the way. So this will drop like the week of New Year's. But as of this recording, my parents are coming out because we're going to do early Christmas because I'm going to be in Arizona for Christmas. Anyway, so he was like, Mom and I got you this gift. It's going to arrive. Don't look at it. Don't look at the box. It's probably going to have like some writing on it that's like giving it away. I was like, okay, I got it. So of course it arrives when he's not home. So I have to bring it in the house and like look up at the sky. And then I was like, I'll cover it with a blanket. You know, it was just
smart.
Like this. Yeah. So I was like throwing a blanket over it, trying not to look. Anyway, of course, the second he gets home, he's like, let's open it. So they got me.
He didn't even wrap it?
No, he can't. The man can't save a surprise. I'm telling you. So it was really funny because he was like, okay, let's open it. And so it's a human-sized dog bed. It is, if anyone, I mean, in my life knows me, I love to cuddle with my pets. I will just lay on the floor every single night and they just like curl up around me. If you've never seen one of those human-sized dog beds, it literally looks like a dog bed with like those round, like puffy edges, but it is the size you could fit 3 large humans in there. So we had a really good laugh about that because the second I laid it out, put it together, my old 13-year-old lab like just crawled right in next to me and he was like, this is for us. And it was so cute.
That's the best moment.
It was so cute. I got it on camera because I was like, the second I laid down, he just was like, oh, he's so excited. And he was like curling up. He's like, this is so cool. So we had a really good laugh at that because I also posted it on like my personal Facebook because it really does kind of look ridiculous. It's like a huge, huge, huge dog bed. But anyone who comes over, we could all just like lay in that thing and bring your pets. So speaking of pets and animals, this is just going to be an animal themed week for us, I guess. My cry is my I've mentioned my friend Leah before, the one who works at the animal shelter, and she's always sending me videos of really cute pets to be adopted and or stories of pets who've kind of had a rough go. I'm always invested in their outcome of okay, did they get adopted? What happened to them? So last week she sends me this video of this cat that's whenever there's a cat that's not yet adoptable, they will put the cat in the staff's office to just get used to people and get used to an environment and get used to sounds. And sometimes they'll put another cat in with it to learn how to be a cat. But there was this one video, she goes, this cat is so fearful. She sends me this video, and it's this cute little fuzzy brown cat, kind of like a squishy face, who's hiding behind a plant. And if you know cats, he has that really tipped ears where he's kind of mad. She's talking to him, and he's giving her this look like he's just so fearful. And then 2 days later, she's like, look who's adoptable. And she sends me this link and his adoption link, and his name is Bear. And she's like, he's now accepting pets. He's not fearful anymore. And every time she sends me one of those, I'm like, I just want to jump through the screen and hug these animals who are just so scared. But shout out to shelter workers or people who are fosters and people who are doing that work, because it is truly saving these little furry lives. And they're they just need a chance to adapt and be shown love and hey, buddy, you're okay. It just warms my heart. So that was my cry this week, was Bear is likely going to be adopted soon, and good for him.
That's such great news.
Yeah.
How cute. And I want to be Bear's mom.
I know what I'm telling you. I'm I have drawn a limit on one cat right now in my life. So I'm I cannot, every time she sends me a link, I'm I'm obsessed with this animal. And recently they adopted one that had one eye, he had to have an eye removed. I mean, it's just so sweet, the outcomes, and they're adopted really quickly, which makes me feel good. Before I was friends with Leah, I always thought that animals were in these shelters forever and ever. She's no, you'd be surprised. Animals get adopted really quickly. So, okay, Chelsea, you're up next.
Well, I am going to mess up this whole animal theme. I apologize to all of our listeners.
Break the train.
But first, I apologize to my dear friends Rebecca and Joy first. Okay. Oh, actually, mine is a little bit animal-y. My laugh is an animal. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Do we want my laugh first or my cry? My cry is a little bit longer than okay. Well, let's stay on the animal.
You pick.
Okay. So I've been having some deep thoughts and some big feelings about career direction. What am I doing? I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always done workshops and seminars, and I recently obtained a coaching certification. I've been writing content. I've been doing a lot of different things. And sometimes it's am I on the right path? And so today I went to the gym, and then after the gym, I was listening to Gabby Bernstein, who I really love. And she was talking about signs from the universe, which I always do. I've actually done for many years. And she was talking to her co-host, and she was like, how do we know we're on the right path? And she's like, ooh, if we see a buffalo, then we'll know that we're on the right path. And then she was like, okay, listeners, if you need to know if you're on the right path for something specific, what are you asking for? So immediately I think llama. And I'm like, who the fuck thinks of llama? When am I going to see a llama? And I'm like, forget it. That's what came to my head. So then I'm like, okay, it has to be that I see a llama within 1 week or I'm not on the right path. Literally within a split second, I turn the corner of my car. There's a giant monstrosity of a blow up Christmas llama.
No. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Somebody's yard. People, when they forget to unplug the Christmas lights, so the blow up is still lit up. This was as big as their house. It couldn't have been a bigger sign from the universe.
It's the burning bush show.
That Chelsea, just keep showing up and doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. And I could not stop laughing. And then one of the things I laughed about was well, wait a second. Am I sure it's a llama? Should I drive? And it was
totally. Of course our brain does that. Or of course our brain is is it really a sign? Yeah. That's so good.
Oh my God. So that was just this morning, and I cannot stop laughing about it because, first off, it was such a ridiculous sign. It was one of those huge blow ups. And I'm like, Who has a Christmas llama?
Yeah, who does have a Christmas llama, by the way? That's so random.
Though. That is
Speaking
random.
of rando,
It was a rando llama.
Are you able to go take a photo of
You
it?
need a photo.
You know what? I'm going to drive. I'm leaving today to go to Atlanta. And so listen, I'm going to, at nighttime, it's for sure going to be blown up, I'm sure. I know exactly where it is. I'll go drive by and I'll have to take a picture of it because it's so big. And it's such a monstrosity. And it was so random. So that was my laugh this morning where I was like, you've got, I can't make this up. It was so good. It was like I asked for a sign and immediately, in a split second, it was like I could have driven into the llama because it was a circle. It was the circle, a roundabout. I could have literally put my car into Rando Llama. Okay. That was my laugh, which I thought was so funny. My cry was about being at Target again. I have been at Target so much. I am shopping at Target all the time. Target, I should probably have invested in stock there.
I mean, I love Target. Are you just tired of shopping at Target
because
of the holidays?
I actually don't really love shopping. Not really that much. But the time I do love to shop, I like the hustle and bustle of the holiday, but I've been doing it after my daughter's volleyball practice, so I'm really tired.
Oh, sure.
It's I'm driving
end of the
home.
night shopping
It's
is very exhausting.
8:30 at night, and I'm like, oh my God, we forgot to get this Christmas gift, or we forgot to get this whatever. She needed cream for her 14-year-old perfect face because she ran out. And anyways, fast forward, we're in line. There is a family in front of me, a young father, young mother, there's a couple kids, and they have a grocery cart full, packed out with stuff, good stuff. You kind of look at people's grocery cart and you're like,
oh, totally.
You're like, God, they're buying some really good stuff. They were buying a massive amount of stuff. And then then it makes me think I wonder what kind of job this person has, or I wonder what kind of you start kind of.
I totally do that.
I don't know if it's a therapist brain or if I would just really like to be in my second life a grocery clerk or something, but I get really curious.
See this for you.
Yes, me too.
You would be chatting up the whole line.
Yeah, your line would be real long because everyone
and making recommendations.
Wait, can I be your bagger? I'll be your bagger.
Okay. Career move. If we see a llama,
Let's do it.
I'm watching them, and the guy's the dad's sweet. He's putting stuff up and he's like, okay, well, my daughter ate part of this banana. So there's actually 4, even though there's 3. And then there was part of an apple that was eaten, and these kids are cute and whatever. And so I'm watching them and I'm just very curious, and they're taking a really, really, really long time. And I'm just kind of okay, whatever, kind of just observing and remembering myself being younger with young kids. And it comes to the payment time and she starts scratching all these gift cards. So she has a couple Target gift cards she's scratching and she pays. And then they have the leftover amount and the guy hands over a pile of $100 bills. Target, or maybe it's this Target, has this annoying thing. If you have a certain amount of cash, they have to call over a manager to, I don't know, count it or something.
Well, it's to make sure they're not counterfeit bills. Yeah.
Well, that's a pin that you can mark. So they said they can't take a certain amount without a manager approval. So I'm looking, and all of a sudden I watch this confident dad who's feeling so proud. I see shame come up on him. I can see, and he goes, I don't have any money on my bank account. All I have is this cash. And she's like, well, we need to get the manager. And it's holiday, so it's busy. Then they're calling the manager. Now the line's getting longer. It's a whole thing. And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know this feeling of scarcity. I know this feeling of shame. I know what it feels like to feel like you don't have enough and then to feel embarrassed about it. So then I look over at him and I'm like, well, I think cash is king. And so I'll just put it on my card and I'll take your cash. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I just don't, my mom died. And so I came into this cash, and starts telling me this whole story about why, justifying why he has this amount of cash. He's not a bad person. He had judgment about money, and I am feeling it. It made me so sad. Anyways, the manager ended up coming over in the middle of him telling me all this stuff. And she rings him up, and it took them from this high to this sad place of not feeling good enough. And I just saw it in him, and that made me cry. And my daughter picked up on it too. She was like, gosh, that was so weird. And I'm like, yeah, that was probably, they were so excited. They came into some cash and he could like splurge on his family, literally buying just like really good quality groceries, feeling embarrassed that he couldn't use his bank card. And then we had to wait. And then the line got bigger. And then everybody's like, what's going on? And it's like this cash issue. Like, and anyways, it really made me feel sad, really sad and I get it. I can remember like buying groceries in college and like crying and being like, I can't believe like this is all I can afford, and having like my own scarcity stuff growing up. So it really hit
Big
me.
Time. Yeah.
It made me feel really sad. So that was my sad.
That is really sad.
Yeah, because everybody is worthy and like brings value to this world. It's not about like how much money you have or all of that. That makes our lives easier. But when you can see that people feel less than because they don't have more, that part just like, it makes me feel so sad. So I felt really sad because I watched them on like a high and then I watched it deflate, and it just, ugh.
That was nice of you to offer too, to help him. I'm sure he was like feeling embarrassed, and when a stranger's being nice instead of being judgmental, it's like moms on a plane with a kid screaming, like always just try to help instead of being like, why is your kid screaming? You know?
Yeah, or like, yeah, if you're
people just need help. People just need a hand.
Yeah, or just like be patient. Like it's okay. It's patient. Fine. Yeah, we're all gonna check out. Like,
yeah, the world does not revolve around you. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Wow. None of our listeners act like that. I'm just saying, the people that might hear this episode, the world doesn't revolve around you. Be nice, be kind, be patient. Okay, let's pivot to our topic of the week, changes. We're talking about change. Everyone deals with change. Change is like, yeah, change happens. But if you think about it, like, how do you really deal with change? And why is it so hard? You know, you think about it in relation to work, into relationships. Maybe you have a breakup. Maybe you're getting a divorce. Maybe you're moving. Maybe you have a death in the family. Change kind of happens every single moment of our lives, and we have to accept it. But why is it so hard? So who wants to kick us off?
Well, I can tell you why it's so hard. Change is hard because our brain is wired to make things as simple and easy as possible. So we are biased when we hear information that we can receive easily. We will go for the path of least resistance. I think it's like about 80 to 90% of what we're doing is just habitual. We aren't doing a lot of new things. So we're kind of going through the day, doing our routines that we do in life, showing up the way that we do. And so change takes effort. It takes energy, and it evokes a lot of big feelings. Lots of big feelings come with change, good change and bad change. So that's what I would say for a fun fact. The brain, we are operating on subconscious. Subconscious is path of least resistance. Path of least resistance is what's familiar, what's habitual. And we just live our life that way.
You know, I've been thinking about change recently, and I'm looking at it like on all levels, micro and macro. And I'm like, if you look at human beings, we are made of cells. Those are constantly in movement. They're constantly changing. Like every millisecond of the day is different. It's like different. It's never the same. And so I was thinking like, why do we, like Chelsea, you're saying, why is it so hard when external change happens to us? Because it's like we're so used to movement. The world spins on an axis. It's in movement. It's changing. The day and night change. I mean, change is constant, but we have such a hard time with it. And so I kept thinking like, it's something we experience all the time. Why is it so hard? And I just kept kind of going back to like, I guess our brains really want stability, that we're seeking it in this mass amount of constant movement and change, that we want something just to stay in like a moment so that we can like gather our thoughts or make a decision. Like, I think sometimes I don't know, maybe it's the changing is too much for us.
Predictability. We want to know what to expect next because it creates psychological safety.
And it's automatic. So as we're going through our lives, we're not having to think about much. So we're kind of in this like mode of routine. I get up, I do this, I brush my teeth. You know, you don't have to think about what you're doing. So when you're kind of like in this flow, of walking the dogs, coming home, getting ready for work, blah, 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 driving to work, the same route to work. There's this like, you just don't have to give much thought to it. So to Chelsea's point, when change occurs, now the system is disrupted. And you're like, okay, now I have to think about other factors, and all of the pieces in my life have to shift to accommodate this new scenario. And that's really overwhelming. So let's break it down a little bit. Rebecca, how do you personally handle change? And like, what are the lessons you've learned over your life? Because I think about it takes a lot of practice. And sometimes maybe if you're kind of like playing it safe, sometimes getting out of your comfort zone and forcing yourself to like face change can be a good thing.
It can. My first response to you is I wanted to say I don't handle it very well. But I think I've improved, right? I used to be somebody that hated change, but I would say in the last 3 years of my life, I have kind of doubled down on change and said, I'm here for it. I'm going to do it. I've worked in a startup company, and it's constant. If anybody knows anything about kind of startups or the tech world, it is like constant change. It's like you show up one day to work, we're doing one thing, and the next day we might be doing something else. And so it's just a lot. And I think I've become accustomed to it. And so the big thing for me is I take a pause. It's like, I don't know that people realize you can always pause. And it's like the 90-second cry, Chelsea. It's like, take the pause, gather your thoughts, get some stability in your own body, and then move forward. But I was also thinking about this too, because I, in the last few years, started doing improv and taking improv classes, improv comedy classes. I'm somebody that probably would have never been on a stage before. I know that's probably hard for you all to believe. I would have been super embarrassed, but it has taught me so much about change and I thought I might share some of that too, because I think it's really important for people, is that the things I've learned with improv is that one, nothing is ever the same, because you are up there with sometimes complete strangers, and you're making up a story, a character, everything is made up. You may get an audience suggestion, but that's all you have, the information you have. And so it's never the same. You have no control of the story. And if you want to try to control it, it's terrible and it's never going to work. And you always have a choice. I get to choose how I'm going to respond when somebody says something to my character. They may have not even told me who I am yet, but then I'm just going to make up who I am. Within this uncertainty is a amount of freedom that is actually really amazing, and it lets you be creative that I never used to think about. It gives you like a chance to explore something new, because you wouldn't have done it. You wouldn't have explored the area if it hadn't been presented to you. There's always an adventure to be had in change. Always. You just have to kind of set your mind, because we're always thinking negatively. We have this negative bias, but if you look into it like this is a positive thing I can create with, it's going to be amazing. And then the big thing with improv comedy that I've used through change is the yes and. Yes, this is happening. And what am I going to do next?
I love that. Yeah. Yes and.
The uncertainty piece is like, can you say that again? The part about uncertainty.
Oh, within uncertainty is freedom.
Yeah, so within uncertainty is freedom. It's like, whoa.
Mic drop moment.
That was a mic drop moment for me. It's so true. If you look, it's all about how you frame it and kind of how you play the game here, and that everyone has a choice. So maybe growing up, you experienced change and it was like always framed as a negative, or that maybe everything that you went through, change was like bad changes or really emotional change. So maybe you can reflect on what change meant to you as a kid, because that usually is what we bring to the table as adults. So that's a really big reminder of like, you have a choice, choose your own adventure. When you were talking, Rebecca, it reminded me of all the stuff we went through with my house in September, when all of the shit was hitting the fan. And the night they told us that we're like, we don't know when your house is going to be done. And I've practiced over my lifetime of taking those moments. And yes, I can have a good cry about it. But then I do, like, you put it into words what I do, but I was like so grateful to have the words you just said of like, I try to open up to like a blank canvas and go, what's going to happen here? Instead of being like focusing on the now of the negatives and being like, well, this is happening and this is like focusing on the actual like problem. Let's say it's a problem, that the change is like maybe not a thing that you reacted well to at first. But then I go, all right, now we have possibilities. Like, what are the possibilities of how we can walk through this and explore? That's a cool feeling. It's not to say like every change is going to be like, yay, now what? But to look at that, to take that perspective could be really profound.
And to add to that, I'm going to flip it. With change in life, sometimes what I do is I run the most negative tape through to go to the worst case scenario. So I go all the way to jump off the edge of the cliff, knowing that I can jump off if I want to. And then I can back it up and say like, I can be resourceful for every single thing that comes my way. So I did this during COVID. You know, I had been kind of semi-retired when we moved to our home here by the beach, and Steve, my husband, is in the music industry. So obviously touring was not going to happen. And we went from a high. That year he was working for Lana Del Rey. He was on a retainer. Our year was like set. And I was so excited about like all the adventures we were going to have, there was going to be like a ton of financial freedom, because when you're on retainer, that means you're getting paid when you're not working. I'm like, love Lana. She's my favorite artist. I was like, wow, like the stars have aligned. This is really cool. And COVID hit. And we were in Alabama, so I knew my family's in California, Steve's family's in New York. So I'm like, okay, what's happening in California and New York? We probably have a couple week lag for where we live. And then I ran the tape all the way through. Steve's not going to be working. I knew that was going to happen. I had maybe a handful of clients because I was at that point, pretty retired. We had some savings. And I was like, we're going to need health insurance. If he loses his job, we're not going to have health insurance. And so I ran the tape all the way through to what is our worst case. Our worst case is we have to go through the mortgage company and figure out how to postpone our mortgage. Our worst case is we throw stuff on a credit card. Our worst case is we go into Marketplace or we do Cobra. Like I had to go run it all the way through. And then I was like, we're going to be fine. We can figure all of this stuff out. There's nothing here, even though it's overwhelming, we are going to be able to figure it out. So with COVID, that was like a way. So I get anxious, I spin, then I decide that I'm going to go to the absolute worst case, know how I could potentially solve any of those problems. And then I surrender and I'm like, what can I learn from this? This is an opportunity to create. And I get really, really, really brave. And that's my gift, I think, as a human, is to be brave. I am brave. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm brave and resourceful.
Chelsea, that reminds me of a technique we do in counseling where a lot of people, if they're anxious about something or just the worries, we just keep going, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? And then what? So if people are worried, I'm worried about what if this happens? Okay, so what if that happens? You know, so it's like you kind of do have to, it does help in some scenarios to play out the exact worst case scenario, because at the end of the day, you can figure it out. You know,
yes.
So
and then it stops looming. We're like, now there's this next scary thing. Now it's like we already ran the scariness all the way through. Now we can surrender that, because that's the thing. We don't want to stay stuck in resistance.
Right.
With change, it's like martial arts. We want to flow. Think of Tai Chi. Like we want to flow with it. We don't want to fight it. We don't want to street fight. We want to learn how to flow energetically. And that's when I say human beings are meant to do hard things. We're meant to be brave. Rebecca, when you were talking, the first thing that came up was like, I am so glad that Rebecca did improv. Like I met you when you were doing improv. You led these amazing team meetings and morale boosting and like bringing large groups of people together with your fun flexibility, like how much I admire you for that and how grateful I am. And I would have not known that about you had you not been willing to be uncomfortable and lean in. Like, what a gift. So,
yeah, I think you do have to be uncomfortable with it. I wanted to read a quote from Pema Chodron. She is a Tibetan Buddhist. She's not considered a monk. I forget what the terminology is, but she writes lots of books, so you probably have heard her. But she said, when we resist change, it's called suffering. But when we can completely let go and not struggle against it, it's called enlightenment. And I really subscribe to that, because when we can just let it go, it's not meaning I forgot this and I'm just going to ignore it. It means I know this has happened and now I'm not going to worry and obsess about it. I'm going to maybe start making plans for the future. That's enlightenment. That's the moving forward. That's the aha. That's how you change.
Rebecca, I love that.
It's like a river.
Yeah.
Like the river flowing. They do that too of like when they're describing manifestation and like being in the flow of things is the river flowing versus clogging things up with your resistance.
Your resistance is a dam. It stops everything.
Totally.
And it results in needless suffering. When, again, I know I reference cancer so much, but that's been such a big part of our lives. That was my motivation to flow was I'm not going to waste a second of I can't go down this. I'm not perfect. So of course my brain can go to the scary parts. I can do all that, but I will not allow myself to spend lots of time in that darkness because you miss all the light. You miss all the beauty. You miss life when you're in a dam. When you are fighting and going against change, you're in gridlock. And when you're in gridlock, that is the most needless suffering that you are now doing to yourself. The simple fact that we're human means we're going to change. We're going to have hard things. We're going to go. I say this all the time. And so how do we practice leaning into it and learning how to dance with it and learning how to make that part of you rather than trying to reject and hold on to something that's no longer there. Like I'm no longer going to know the innocence of life the way that I did before. I'm not. I didn't, when I had the death of my family, my sister when I was a child, I learned death at I was never going to not know that could happen in life. People who have gone through bankruptcy or they've gone through, caretaking or they've gone through hard things, you're never going to not know that. So holding on to the past gets really toxic. And that's where we see depression.
So I want to ask you both, how do you dance with change?
My God, I want to read this Substack that I wrote about it once.
We should post it. We'll post it.
It's a dance with grief. Yeah.
How do you, how do you lean into it? I think that's what people are kind of looking for, how do you do it?
You take the next right step. Tiny in front of you. In the most awful times in my life, that next right step was taking a drink of water. That next right step was making sure that I answered a text message somebody sent me, even though I want to shut it down. That next right step was going out and sitting in the sunshine. So it doesn't have to be big. We're starting to acclimate to something new. And so how do we take the next right step? The other thing that I do, and I do this to this day, like when I stay in the hospital with Steve, I do a whole skincare routine before I go to bed. And I sleep in the hospital with him. I bring like my warmest, comfiest pajamas. I don't care how it looks. I bring my sleeping mask. I bring all my stuff. So I try to keep as much routine as I can to create a sense of normalcy in the chaos. So eating, drinking, showering, like really tiny things that you can do, focusing on what you can control, I would say is like kind of the starting point. Joy, what do you think?
I take a different approach with change only because for me over the years, what I have done is look at it as a challenge, or to not make it sound like a resistance thing because it's not like a fight, but it's more of like okay, I have an opportunity. I have something here to learn. What is the lesson? What is the assignment that I've been given? Mm-hmm. And that's what I look. It served me so well because there's times when I just want to get like pissed off but I'm like, all right, you've been assigned this challenge and what are you going to do with it? And I am a stubborn little gal. And so I am not one to turn down a challenge. So if you give me a challenge, I'll be like, I'm going to ace this test and I'm going to get a gold star and I'm going to do the best at it, so.
Yeah, you are.
I'm not someone who's going to be like, oh, my life is over. I don't wallow for very long. It's okay if you wallow. It's okay if you cry. Emotions are fine with it. We're not trying to like put a glossy spin on this. It's just that at the end of the day, are you going to suffer or are you going to turn it into something that you can kind of grow your soul? And that has served me. So
it ignites you like a fire in a way.
Yes, and like it's not easy at first. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, but then I'll be like, okay, what's next? What's the lesson?
I was thinking about this too, because you can kind of go about it in different ways that it kind of hit me. It's like you can remain a victim or you can be a victor. Like, how are you going to get through this change? You want to be like, oh, why me? Because I think some of us get stuck there, but you can be victorious. You can be the victor of this and you can take this challenge like you all are both talking and you may have different ways you approach it, but you do move through it and you remain open to maybe all the things that it has to offer you.
And sometimes you have to get to enough is enough. You're like, okay, I've done, like I did that. I do that a lot with myself. I do a little bargain. You get 5 days. You get a weekend. You can sit in bed. You can be, and then after that, we're done. You're going to get back on. And then that's where the bravery comes in.
Yeah.
Is it's making the choice with Joy, to your point, it's determination. Like I am determined to come out the other side, whatever that means, because I know that we have free will. That is, it's Viktor Frankl, the last free will of any man is the choice to choose their attitude. And we can choose. We can honor the both and. This is horrible. This is sad. There's a lot of grief. We want to process that. We want to honor that. We want to feel those emotions. And then we have to choose, do I want to continue in this, or can I figure out a way to make meaning and be the best that I can throughout this process and get through it. And we all have that choice.
And I realize too, kind of as we wrap up here, this could also be another conversation, is there's so many situations of change that are out of our control. I'd say most of the situations of change are out of our control. So there could be like bitterness or like, well, life's not fair type of mentality that's kind of hard to get out of. And I would just recognize that as we're going through it, of if you're going through something that's been hard for you, feel free to write us and we can dive into this a little deeper too.
Laugh Cry Club, humans, should we start the new year with fun change? Like we just kind of talked about change that was outside of us. What about when we're like, enough is enough. I'm ready to like do the improv class. I'm ready to do a high rocks.
Yeah, like high rocks. That's a good change. That's a good challenge.
Yeah, we could talk about like maybe a fun, I don't know.
What are people doing that are fun changes that are challenging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That ignite you, inspire you.
Yeah, because then the inspiration is contagious.
Oh,
Totally.
I had the best conversation today with a colleague and I was literally taking notes. I'm like, just ignore me. I'm taking notes because it was such a rich conversation. I felt that contagious excitement. Oh my gosh, what if everyone at the Laugh Cry Club shared this?
Well, they're going to, because it's going to be very contagious. And so then maybe people can write in and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. And then we can share it and just create this whole ripple effect. It's like hands across America.
Yes.
Yeah, we can share the changes in our podcast.
Did you just say change across America?
Hands across America.
Oh,
remember when they did
She
that?
said
Yeah,
change.
I did it.
I heard change
I did
across
it.
America.
I did it.
Or that. You did hands
I
across
did.
America?
Yeah, did you?
Oh my gosh, no, but I wanted to. I was a little kid. And it's like,
Yeah, my whole family did it.
80s.
We had like the visors and the t-shirts. I wish I had it. I mean, I would be so retro cool right
you
now.
would be
I
so
mean, you're
And
pretty
we had to-
cool. That would be amazing.
It would be off the charts cool. But yeah, we went and held hands somewhere in Missouri and it was awesome.
That is so cool for people who are too young to know that. You missed out on
Well,
something cool.
listen, you Gen Xers know it. Well, we should wrap up by saying Happy New Year to all
Happy
of
New
you.
Year.
Happy New Year. We love you all. We're so grateful. And guess what? When we meet again, guess what's going to be?
2025.
2025.
What a time to be alive.
Ooh, I like your slogan.
2025. What a time to be alive.
To be alive.
That's my song.
Get inspired, everybody.
Yes. So find us on social, rate us and review us. It's the best gift you could give to our podcast. If you like the show, if it's not your cup of tea, we bless you on your way. We're not everyone's cup of tea, but we love that you listen. And thank you so much for being a part of the club. We will see you next year.
See ya.
See you next year.
That's life, baby.